Well, will a new world order emerge with President Trump? And what would that new world order be? Is there one out there? It sounds like a case for Lady Helena Humphrey, my esteemed colleague, who has braved the frigid alpine nights all this week to tell us what in the world the elites at the World Economic Forum are saying and thinking. Good evening to you, Helena. So, what's the verdict after a week high up in the Alps? Is Trump changing everything for everyone?
Well, let's be very clear, Brent. The words Donald and Trump have cast a very long shadow over this World Economic Forum in Davos. Tomorrow, a new dawn, and Donald Trump will become the President of the United States. Then we'll have a clearer idea of what kind of shadow he'll be casting over the world, if one at all. We just don't simply know with some of his policies, which seem so unclear. But of course, the maxim of this year's World Economic Forum has been responsive and responsible leadership. Many people are saying that that is a direct appeal to the man who will become the new president of the United States. Many people haven't been mentioning Donald Trump's name here, but every speech seems to be directly talking about him, to him, in fact. Chinese President Xi Jinping gave the opening address here, warning against protectionism, saying, please do not shut yourself off in a dark room because the effects will be catastrophic. Outgoing US Vice President, I should say, Joe Biden as well, making a similar call. IMF Chief Christine Lagarde also giving the same warning. So the message here, I think, is universal, and Donald Trump stands against everything that the World Economic Forum, that business leaders, that political leaders coming here stand for, that being an open world, a global world in which people work together to solve some of the most pressing issues. Yeah,
and then speaking of the word global, you've got the British Prime Minister, Theresa May. She was in Davos with her new global Britain post-Brexit plan. Did people buy that?
I'm not sure that they did buy it, but a lot of people turned up at the Congress Centre eager to hear what she had to say. She did bring that message with her that she'd said on Tuesday when she announced her intention for a hard Brexit, that being Britain is still open for business. But at the same time, she didn't ever really say the words hard Brexit this time around. She could have given this speech after the referendum, and she sort of pivoted that Brexit message, which stands for, the rise of populism, and said that this is a global world. We are going further than the European Union in trade. And she started speaking about the Tata dynasty and company in India. One delegate I spoke to afterwards said this didn't actually feel that forward-thinking. What it actually felt was that, she may as well have sung Rule Britannia. It was harking back almost to colonial history of Britain, which some people found a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, so you've got the UK, you've got the US, seeming almost old school, and compare that to China, which seemed like a rock star this year in Davos.
Absolutely, and a lot of people I've spoken to here were willing to buy that. A lot of people enjoyed President Xi Jinping's address. He is making a bid to step into this vacuum which is being left by the United States with his message of globalization, of working together. And then that message has been extended throughout the week. Today we had the CEO of Alibaba, Jack Ma, announcing a partnership with the International Olympic Cooperation, because he says that the Olympics stands for teamwork, for globalization, for working together. So he's kind of continued this message from China. But what I do have to say is interesting about China is what has not been said. Nothing has been mentioned regarding China's human rights record, its Great Firewall of China, global steel gluts on European markets. People weren't talking about that. They were just very excited about the fact that there may be this rising star.
Yeah, and Helena, briefly, before we say goodbye, is there a new norm being internalized among the world's elites? Are they accepting more authoritarianism? Are they accepting more protectionism and the world not being as open?
It's a really interesting question, Brent. And whilst people here at the World Economic Forum are saying that they remain open to globalization and supporting everything that goes with it, they were very, very excited about China, and they weren't mentioning the authoritarian record. And I think that's something to do with the fact that over the past year, we've seen such extraordinary statements from the United States, from China. It's a period of normalization when we're getting used to that. And let's be honest, at the World Economic Forum, it's a collection of leaders. They are looking for a leader, despite the fact that Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, says the realistic, the truth of it is the world will see two economic powers, the United States and China. Whether China pulls ahead in terms of political and societal power as well is something that we will see very soon.
We will, maybe even by the next World Economic Forum next year. All right, Helena Humphrey in Davos. Helena, thank you very much. Excellent reporting this year. Go inside now and get warm. Thank you very much.